Okay, so a few things before we get into this video here, because I did, first of all, find a direction for the website. And second of all, I did spend a few minutes after the last video just sort of setting up, getting the Flexbox working, because it was kind of bothering me. As you can see now, when I resize, it is resized and it doesn't jump down. I simply fixed that by putting my content inside a container and going inside my templates and setting the main container here to have a certain, I guess, like taking a certain amount of space inside this flex box. So I set it to flex 1 and I fixed it. That's pretty much it. The direction for the website, for people who might want to come up with a name for the website, is going to be a teaching website. I know, it's original idea, Daniel. It's going to be a teaching website, basically teaching different courses, and people can sign up on the website. They can follow certain courses, so they get a notification whenever a video comes up. They can add comments to a certain course. Like if you've gone to php.net, that website, where you learn all about PHP, other users can actually add additional comments to particular information pages. And we can do that for videos too in this sort of website here, I guess. So I do have a direction, which is a good thing, right? So maybe people might want to come up with a name that fits a teaching website, because now we know what this should be, so it's a little bit easier to find a name, right? Because it's still called Pinboard. Doesn't make any sort of sense for that particular type of website. So yeah, what I want to do in this video here, I had not really thought about. I just sort of clicked record. But if you take a look at the website, you'll see that right now we just have a basic website. I do also want to point out, though, that partially what helped me figure out the Flexbox thing was this website here. I've been using this one since before we had AI and stuff like that. When Flexbox came out, basically, I don't know why it says August 2024. Like, I used this particular page before that. Unless they updated it. And that's why it says 24. I swear, I've been using this one, like, way before that. But yeah. So basically, we have to think a bit about how the structure should be. I hate the music I'm listening to right now. I don't hate the music. I actually think it's pretty awesome. It's The Midnight, which has this amazing 80s style sort of music, but I get so distracted talking while it's running. Okay, I found something else here. I think this might be better. It doesn't compete with myself when I'm talking. So I'll get distracted. I'm like, I'm talking, but my mind is elsewhere. So I don't know what I'm saying. Yeah, okay. So Pinboard doesn't make sense. That's something I will try and lead my viewers to come up with some suggestions. I do still think that feed could be implemented. So basically, if you follow a certain course, or let's say you added a comment or a additional note to a lesson to add some information to that particular lesson there, and somebody replies to that particular comment, then you should be notified and it should pop up on your feed. Discover the other related courses that might be relevant. Let's say you're learning HTML. Oh, you might want to learn CSS, and then these on the sides here could actually be the different courses, just kind of listed out. I think that would be kind of cool. So there's a direction now. I tried to enlarge in the website, by the way, so you could actually see what is going on, because right now it is zoomed in at 150%. Like if I go out, you can see 150. Otherwise it would look like this and you can't see anything. So it is larger for you to be able to see something. I could also do this, you know. Right. So I think maybe, just maybe, the first step would be to add a course, because we can't do any sort of logic or systems related to a course before we actually have a course. You have to have the content to be able to do something with the content, so we can actually see it working. Because I can write all the background logic for following a course or liking it or commenting on a course, but if there's no course, it's kind of like, I don't know, just imagining it working. So instead of link 1, 2, and 3, we need to have a database entry, like a table, that just has basic course information. Right. And then we'll have other tables that might be a comment related to a particular course, which will be a separate table, separate from the course. So the course table is just going to be like on its own, right? Which means that we have to set up a migration for this course. And we do also need to set up a resource. For people who don't know what resources are, I did kind of teach it on my channel, I think. Yeah, I did. Like right at the end, when we did a CRUD application. Basically, a resource is whenever you go inside, let me just find it here. Inside your routes and then web.php. Basically set up a resource in here that is going to create a controller that has different methods for different things. So for like showing the content related to a course, like its own page. Something for updating a course, something for creating courses, something for deleting a course. Basically all those, you know, CRUD sort of things you can do with a certain feature on a website. That's something it's going to create, right? So what I'll do is I'll go into ChatGPT and say this. I need to create a resource for creating a table called courses, since I want to make this website into a teaching website. And inside this table, I need to have basic information about the course. For example, the course name. And other information you might find relevant. Can you show me how to do that? I completely blanked out there. Like I was trying to like, okay, so what should be like information about this course? And I'm like, it needs a name, right? Yeah, okay. So let's go ahead and send that. And then the AI can figure out the rest. Basically, we need to go inside and open our console here. Since I need to type something, I'm just going to exit the development server. And it's still thinking. Like there is a create command for simply creating a model that also creates the resources. Got some coffee here. Now it's empty. I got no more coffee. It's taking time. It's probably gonna crash. Oh. Error. Could not find information. So yeah. What else do we need? After creating a course. So basically you have to use the course information to create the navigation on the side. You have to create a course page. And inside the course page, we need to have all different lessons. Maybe some information about the course. That could be something that we need to add inside the course page or the course table. What else? So the course name, course description. Maybe some tags related to the course. So you can actually go in, and when people, they try to search for like PHP, you could actually have certain tags related to that course, because obviously you could just add in a search mechanic to search for, like, if a person types PHP, then because the course name is called PHP, that's going to be like a search result. But sometimes people might not intuitively, like, they know what they're looking for, but they don't know the name for what they're looking for. So like front end course, you know, like that's not going to be the title for any of the courses, like JavaScript or HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, you know. So we need to have like some tags that people might search for that could be related. So that could be something. Yes. It is super slow right now. I guess all the people have gone home from work, and they are now trying to use ChatGPT for Googling things. Oh no, it's crashing. Okay, so we'll do 4 things. Make a model plus migration. Great. Define which column the table should use. Run the migration to create the table. Bonus, show you how... wow, okay. It's completely crashing. Okay. I have no idea why it's doing that. Maybe I should just exit the page. Oh, there we go. Okay. But is it creating a resource as well when doing this? Okay, so that's the migration file. Okay, so it came up with some columns here. Title, slug, which is a nice readable URL. Short description. A full description, that's nice. Level, that is nice. Published, so you can work on a course before making it public. Okay, that's good. I would also like to add tags. So migrate. It's not creating the resource though. What about creating a resource route as well? As you misspelled resource. I do that every single time. There we go. Just simply want to know if we have to create the resource file now. I can't remember if we have to create it together with the model or if we do that later after we create the controller. Yeah, okay, so it is a controller. Which makes sense since it is, you know, resources inside the controller. Yeah. So we're gonna do the first thing up here. And I'll just tweak it to add in tags as well. I think that's important. So basically, we're going to go in and run the migration to create the table. Oh, it's further up. Okay. See, I'm super lazy. I could also just look up my own tutorial because I researched this a while back on how to do it. Because I had to refresh it for my tutorial course on the channel, and I don't know, I learn these things and I write them down so I can just refer to the things I write down later. But after getting ChatGPT, I just create canvases because you can do that inside ChatGPT, and then I just keep it in there. So I don't have documents anymore writing things down. Probably a super bad habit. Okay, so we're gonna paste this in. So we're gonna use sail to make a model called course. Right. And it's also going to create a migration file for this particular course here, which is why I added the -m. So we're going to do that. There we go. So we have a model. If I go inside, go to the top here, database, migrations. You can see we have the migration file here, and now we have to tweak it. Basically, the migration file is just a file that sends information to the database. For example, create this thing, you know. And if I run it, it does this particular method here. If I want to undo the changes, it's gonna run this down here. So that's basically what that does. And then we can also go inside and find app, models, course. And then we can, you know, create a model for this particular course here. And the model is, of course, just like database stuff. Okay, but we're going to go inside migrations. It did give me some tips on what I could do. So inside courses, we're going to go ahead and add in this information here. Now, I do want to tweak this. So it's going to create courses, right? We haven't created the database table yet because we have to run the migration first, but we need to tweak what exactly it's going to do. So we're going to have title, slug. I'm just going to keep the comments in there, pretty nice. Short description, level, published, and let's add in tags, which could be, let's just go ahead and say this is something we can make nullable. I guess we can just make it into a text thing or long text. Let me ask. If I want to add tags related to my course so that the user inside a search bar later on can search for a particular keyword that might be related to my course, how should I create a database column for that inside the up function? I know, it's called the method. Method, there we go. Yeah, so it's gonna tell me. Hopefully it's not gonna take us long this time. But this is looking good. Some really good information here. So, what? Oh. Oh, that's actually pretty nice. That's new. I have not seen that before. That you can actually store it as a JSON format. So basically, you can create a table called tags, which is a JSON nullable. I love JSON for storing information. I haven't used too much of it in the past, but I love the idea of it. I used to do, when I did game development, store save data in binary, and then I found out that was insecure, and then I started storing it as a JSON format instead. Yeah, okay. So we're gonna add this in, and we're just gonna add it in below here. So JSON. Whoops, come on. There we go. Right. So we're gonna have this instead. Oh, but I want to keep in the notes. Oh, it added it in the same place. That's awesome. Actually, no, it did it below the published. We're gonna do the same thing. I'm not gonna go rogue. I'm not a barbarian. I don't know what I'm saying. Okay. Wait, is there a comment here? Yes. Oh. There we go. Where's it? Oh, I can't. Well, there's a comment already. Okay, so when saving this, we now, oh, it even shows an example here. You can't see it because it's so tiny, but it's actually quite awesome. Like it shows that when we want to create the course, we can add in like, you know, like this, like tags inside a couple of square brackets. That's nice. That's really nice. Okay. Yeah. Oh, it even shows me like when I create a search function. Should I create the search function immediately? Nah, let's wait. This video is just gonna be about one thing. It's setting up courses. Then in the next video, we can talk about creating a search function. That would work, I think. Let me just see how long I'm recording. 20 minutes, okay. I'm trying to make the videos similar in length. Otherwise it's inconsistent. Okay, so after doing this, we need to actually, let's go back up because we do need to, whoop, that was too far. There we go. Okay, now we're seeing something. Right, so now it's asking us to migrate. I'll save the file. I think the down method is fine. That's just to reverse the migration. And just go ahead and say we want to migrate. Is there something I need to do beforehand? No, I think this is fine. We have the information we need, and if we need to, we can also create another migration file later on that just simply adds a column to this particular table if we want to. So if there's some information I missed, we can just add it in later. That's perfectly fine. There we go. So now it's going to run the migration. And if I do actually open up my dbeaver, I keep wanting to say db beaver because it's a database beaver. No. Ignore, close. Let's go ahead and connect to this one. There we go. Databases, tables. Let's just, can I just open it here? I don't know how much you can see, but we do have a courses table now. Okay, so if I open courses, ID, title, slug, short description, level, published, tags. Oh, and it even creates the, like it says JSON. That's so awesome. This is why I love just sort of messing around with code, because sometimes you just learn new stuff like this. It might be really dry for some people, like especially front-end designers. Like they'll hear, oh, JSON, ugh, it's so dry. Like who thinks that's exciting? But I do think that's exciting. It's a new tool I can use, and I just remember that that's a thing. Like it'll always be inside my brain. Not how to set it up, but you know, that's why I typically write notes. That's the one flaw I have. Like I'm super good at memorizing and just seeing things once, and then I know it's a thing I can do. I don't just forget it, but the particular code snippet I need to do it, I forget. Okay, well, we ran the migration, so now we should have this particular thing. There is also something else we need to be able to do. Let's see. Yeah, this one. Okay. Yeah, this is actually what I was thinking about. So whenever we want to update a particular table, for example, a login system, adding new users, that kind of thing, you have to add it inside the model to allow ourselves to do so. Otherwise, it's going to give us an error message and it's not going to work. So inside our course model, we do need to add in use factory, and we do also need to add in this line to actually allow for that to be a thing. And then we need to add in what should be fillable. So we're going to say that we have this particular information. Title, slug. Of course, we do also now have tags. I love how it just knows. The copilot in this thing is great. Like it knows what you want to do. So there we go. The next thing, how do you insert a course quickly? So Laravel Tinker. Huh. Let's do that. Let's use Tinker. I believe I remember Tinker being a testing tool. I may be incorrect about that information, but I do think I remember Tinker being a testing tool. So what I can do is go in here, run Tinker, and it's going to allow for me to write something else. So basically now I can write some code, which could, for example, be this. Multiple commands. Paste anyways. Okay. This is the first time I'm using it. I know what it is, but it's my first time using it. Oh, this is an intro to Tailwind CSS. Let's just do HTML to begin with. Actually, no, let's do PHP. Create. Why is it course create, and then it's supposed to be the title. Huh. Well, this is oh, snap. Okay. How do I cancel? Let's go into Tinker again. Is it because this is multiple lines? Because maybe I should just make this into one line. I can do that. I can just go down here, paste it in. Oh, this is so annoying. There we go. There we go. Hopefully I'm doing this correct. There we go. And there we go. So if I zoom out, let me just double check. Yeah, now it's one line. Almost. There we go. So the title should be Intro to PHP. Slug, Intro to PHP. Short description. Learn how to... We're going to change this afterwards if we need to. Learn how to program PHP. Yeah. Description. In this course, we will build a website using PHP. Website using PHP. Talk about databases. And back-end logic. To have something, you know. Level 1, published equals true. Good. We do also need to add in something else, which is, of course, tags. How do we add tags? I mean, it could be nullable, so... we can always add tags later. What did we call it? If I go back inside dbeaver. It's just called tags. And I added it after published. Okay. I'm gonna point to... I hope I'm doing this correct. Oh, there we go. It autofilled it. This is actually what it wrote for me to do. That's cool. Okay. Yeah. So we take this, go in here, and it didn't give me a warning this time. Error. Course not found. Yes. Okay. Let's see what it says. That's so weird. Why does it say course not found? I mean, we are connected to the right database. Come on, paste it in. We are connected to the right database. So it should... Course says... No. This is so weird. We have course here. Yeah, we're calling upon a static method called create that just basically creates an entry based on this inside the database. And if you could hurry up just a little bit. ChatGPT. So slow right now. It's alright, it's a good helping tool, so it can always be fast. This means Tinker can't find the course model. So you should have this file. Right, I do. Is it called that? Course. Wow, okay. So now we go in. We have everything. Oh, it's still thinking, that's why. Waiting. In silence. I mean, we could also just create a seed. Basically, a seed, for people who don't know, is when you can add information to a database by calling upon a seed. So yeah, so that's another way we could do this instead of trying to do it this way, because this is more like a here and now one-time solution. So if I want to add in this information to a database on another computer, I would have to redo this manually. Whereas the seed, it would just be stored inside this particular website, and we could just call upon the seed to fill in the database. So maybe a seed is better. I just hate that it's thinking and crashing. Okay, just had to AFK for a second, so there was a small cut there. In the meantime, I did actually ask ChatGPT because I figured why not just ask it and then do my thing so I can return and then, you know, have it already answered my question. Instead of doing this thing here, let's go ahead and create a seed. That's basically what I want to do. So yeah, I'm going to create a course seeder. So if I go back in here, let's exit that because that is not working. We're going to go ahead and make a seeder called course seeder. So if I do that, it's going to run, created successfully. So if we go inside seeders here, you can see ripped that we have a course seeder. Then we need to add in some information, which is already given to us. So if I take this, is everything correct? Let's just double check. Adding in our model here, that's important. And we do also need to create the courses. Yeah, so this is basically how I can go in and actually create information inside. I don't know why I quoted that. Information inside a database. And it did actually create something for Laravel as well. So let's do that. So PHP is level 1. Laravel is level 2. Right. So after we do this, we're just simply going to run the seeder. So we open database seeder, which is here. This is the one that determines what should be run inside the database. And then we can just say that we want to run this call seeder. There's like a testing here. Let's just go ahead and delete that. We don't need that. There we go. So inside run, we simply call our seed. And then we run this command in order to actually seed. Feel like I'm repeating myself. There we go. Do not give me an error message. It gave me an error message. Array to string conversion. Okay, well that's interesting. Let's give that to ChatGPT. See why it's doing that. I mean, it's gonna be able to tell immediately. I can probably also, if I just spend like 2 seconds actually going through the error message, but you know, work smarter, not harder. You could also say that I could learn something from this. Learn to do critical thinking. In fact, in the time that it takes for it to upload the image, I could probably. But basically, it's trying to query this particular thing here. So this, get name, query, this, prepare, bindings. So it's binding the parameters. Getting an error with this particular thing. Core seeder, database seeder. Yes, I know. It's running and then it's crashing. So it's trying to convert an array to a string, which it's failing at. Obviously. So connection, MySQL, enter it into courses. That's correct. Title, slug, short description, description, level, published, tags, updated at, created at. Then it's adding the values. Is it the JSON format? Maybe. See, it has a question mark here. Which is what part? Yeah, that's tags. So it's basically trying to put the JSON format in and it's not working. Yeah, and that's what ChatGPT is starting to write slowly. So if we go back inside the seeder, this is incorrect. And why is that incorrect? This means MySQL is expecting tags to be a normal string column, but your seeder is giving it an array. I know, but it is a JSON format, so it should be correct, right? There's this one person at my job that speaks very slowly, and I feel like that's the person I'm talking to right now. Okay. But your database columns looking for tags is currently not JSON. But it is though. Inside schema, create courses. Make sure tags looks like this. Right? It does. Okay, so it says it needs to look like that, and it does look like that. So, oh, and it actually crashed. Okay, so my you know what? Let me just send it because this is so annoying. Zoom out might be a little bit easier. There we go. And I'll also send my database just to prove to it that it does actually look like that. Values, let's make that smaller. There we go. inside the 2 photos I sent you, you can see that I did actually create it the exact way you told me. And inside my database, it is seen as JSON format. But for some reason, it's not working. There you go. This is so weird, because it should not give me that error message. It does throw in a question mark, because it's like, what is that? But it is JSON. I mean, this is a new thing. We could also just have created it as a long text and separated by commas, but you know, I guess tags, that like, if we can do this, that would be much better. Okay. So let's fix that. Okay. So when the model's cast property isn't telling Laravel the tag should be stored as an array, open your course.php model, right? And then what? Let me zoom in so you guys can see. So when we cast, I did add my tags here. So what does this one? Okay, tells Laravel to JSON encode. Okay. Rerun your seeder. Okay. It worked. Okay. Well, like I said, this is new to me, running a JSON format. So you have to cast it as an array. Uh-huh. And then return true if it's published. Oh no, it's doing it's converting this to a boolean. Okay, so we're casting the published one as well. Interesting. So now if I go inside my database, boom, boom, and refresh it. File, database, edit, right click, refresh. There we go. Okay. So now if I go in here, can I zoom in? Window, appearance, editor, show view. Okay, well, you can't really see it, but I do have data in here now. So I have my PHP course, and I do also have my Laravel course, and it does include it as an array or JSON format. So that is so far correct. Awesome. So now we have actually created courses. They don't have lessons yet, but we do have courses inside this particular website here, which means that now we can actually go in and add the courses one by one inside this little menu on the side here. So we can start a new course in that particular subject. That's kind of awesome. So we do need to do a couple of things here. Like this is, I guess we're gonna, in this video here, just focus on the fact that we have created courses and we can just upload a new course to the website. There is of course gonna be a, we're gonna have an admin login where me as the administrator of this website is gonna log in, and then I'm gonna have a admin panel or dashboard where I can go in and create new courses, where I can type into, you know, like input fields and stuff like that. And then just basically upload new courses directly from the website. So we don't have to seed every single time. And then we just need to create lessons one by one for the particular courses. That's kind of awesome, right? So with that, because I'm out of time, I have a couple of things I need to do inside my household here. We're gonna end this episode on a high note. We have now created courses that can be at least upload it into the database, and from there on we're just gonna continue building upon the courses. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.